Yesterday I posted online my normal invitation for everyone to come to worship, but some of you who may have seen that may have noticed that there was something a little extra, and it said there's going to be a very special presentation afterward, and that's what's about to happen right now. We are now completed with our worship assembly, and so this is something that is tacked on to for a little fun and for a little appreciation, maybe more of each of those. But let me say to you this, that it was nearly 2 years ago when we started looking for a new youth and ultimately what we would call a youth and family minister. We started looking for the person who would work with us, specifically with our young people and our younger families, but in fact all of the congregation in personal work and in various collective social activities. And we found a man and his wife who would do a great job here, and CJ and Kelsey have done a fantastic job here. Now, you might think that this presentation is about them, and I would say only in a secondary way. Because one of the things that we needed to do, we needed to be able to support this family. And we own this property right next door over here, but it's remained abandoned and unfinished and in no way usable for anyone, much less a family. And so we had several members of the church here who jumped in and voluntarily gave of their time and their efforts and a lot of people of their money to make sure that it was taken care of. And the renovation project started. But I want to say, in addition to my thanks for all of those people, and you know who you are, who came out on every day of the week and Saturdays to paint and do all these other things, there was one person who stepped up and took charge of all of it and who saw it through to the end. That person was Herb Dooley. And Herb, I'm going to ask you to come forward for just a moment. Yeah, that means you have to stand up and walk forward. You're even going to have to mount the stairs. And I'm going to ask you to come over here to my right. But I was in a conversation with CJ and Kelsey many, many weeks ago. If you've ever heard Kelsey talk, and Kelsey means more in this department than CJ does, when she talks about how much she enjoys her home, it's much, remember, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So Kelsey is very, very pleased with that home. Come on up here, Herb. I'm going to make you stand here. You can hang right here. It'll only be another 30, 40 minutes. But when you hear Kelsey talk about this, and I've heard her describe the house that they live in next door as the Taj Mahal of preachers' homes, she loves it. And I even asked CJ behind her back a lot of times, but does she really love it? Oh yeah, she loves it. In a short period of time and with much saved, we got that house renovated for them to move in about 1.5 years ago. And there were still some little things that needed to be done. A fence was added later. And then just this last year, starting around the end of 2019, the beginning of 2020, Herb and fewer volunteers, but that was because of the nature of the job a lot of times, but several other of our volunteers worked on finishing out the garage. Now the garage was already an enclosed garage, but when we asked CJ and Kelsey, what do you want? Do you want us to open that up so you can park your cars? Do you want us to use that as a room where you can, kind of a mother-in-law suite, so you can have family and company come over and things like that? And I can't remember CJ or Kelsey in reference to their in-laws said absolutely not, but I won't remember who it was exactly that said that. But they said, no, we want to turn that into a youth room. We want to turn that into a room dedicated to our young people. And I remember some of our young people that went with us on Friday to our event, they got to see the youth room for the first time. Well, you know something? I was having that conversation, and Kelsey and CJ, as they're talking to me and as we're talking together, it was determined we just really don't want to call that the youth room. We don't want it to just be that. That's too general. And in light of what one particular man did to give up so much of his days and nights and weeks and weekends and so much of his time and effort to put into that, we came up with a different name for that youth room. So from now on, when you walk into that particular room, you're going to need to look behind and up above the door on the inside of it, because the new name for the youth room, established in 2020, is the Dooley Den. And so, Herb, we want to, on behalf of everyone here, thank you for all that you've done. And we don't intend for you to go. As I mentioned before, we've got that 4-story addition to the building that we want to build here real soon. But
I told you right up front, that will not happen.
okay, so Herb has clearly lost all of his giving. But with our new insignia, we're going to mount this up so that people for a long time to come will know what all you gave to help us to have CJ and Kelsey. We love you and we appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And at this time, you are dismissed.